Back. And we are live. Welcome to NBA Live Before Lock Game 5. The Indiana Pacers heading to Oklahoma City as pretty sizable underdogs, yet we're 2-2, and we have no idea where this series is officially going to go. I'm Josh Engelman. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter. We're here, guys. We got a game. We're going to be here Thursday, one way or the other. But today, we get to watch some basketball. And hopefully, it looks like 3 of the 4 games we've seen so far. And it just ends up awesome. Good to see everybody here in chat. We got a lot to talk about. We're live on Playback right now. Playback.tv/Stokastic. We're there sharing OddsShopper. If you're looking for bets, you can find those right now. Fully graded out for you if you want to see them. We'll also be live there watching the game after this show. At 8:30, we leave here, we head to Playback, and we watch the rest of the game. You guys should come and join me for that. So we have to be mildly patient right now because there's a non-zero chance that we get another starting lineup change for the Oklahoma City Thunder. It is possible that we see Alex Caruso move into the starting lineup. I don't know if they're going to do it, but it kind of feels like they might. So we got to wait that one out right now. Obviously, the Pacers are not likely to be making any changes here. So I hope you guys are feeling good for this one, at least as of right now. I haven't looked at it. It was 9.5. The line is currently sitting still at 9.5. So let's get the poll going right now. Because I'm not asking you who wins. I'm asking you who covers tonight. Do the Pacers cover, getting that 9.5? Or do the Thunder win by double digits? That is what I want to know here today. Regardless of a potential starting lineup change, I think there are a couple things that we could touch on out of the gate that aren't going to move around all that much. For example, SGA is $14K. He is the most expensive player on this slate by $3,000. He is still the most owned captain and most owned player overall. The raw point ceiling here just too big. 70% overall, 20% at the captain. But J-Dub is on his heels. $9,800, $4,200 cheaper than Shea. 10% less overall ownership. Same captain ownership, though. Which, I'll be honest, I didn't expect. But those two guys are separating from the pack. You can see here, Chet is your next closest guy in overall ownership, and he is close to 15 percentage points away from J-Dub. There is a clear line in the sand. SGA's raw point ceiling and the value of J-Dub as a pay-up are the two best options. One of those guys is probably not in the optimal lineup, if we want to think about it like that. That's kind of scary. But mathematically, it's a coin flip spot that one of them isn't in the optimal lineup. After that, the only other guy in double digits at the captain spot is Chet Holmgren. Halliburton is knocking on the door of it. And then you get your standard issue 5% guys. On the FanDuel side, very different. SGA at 17K is pulling 40% of the MVP ownership. J-Dub, 12K, 16. So the dynamic here is very different on FanDuel in comparison to DraftKings. On FanDuel, you feel a little bit more inclined to get to your, well, there's the starting lineup, to do your J-Dubs, your Chets, your Halliburtons. No changes. Pacers starting lineup is obviously the same. Thunder will start SGA, Dort, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and Isaiah Hartenstein. So no changes to the Thunder starting lineup, which means what we see on the screen is more or less going to be what we get. I think we can spend time talking about SGA, J-Dub, Chet, Halliburton, Siakam. I don't think that's going to get us anywhere. I think where our bread gets buttered today are the non-stars, whether that's the mid-tier guys that play all the time or the value guys that we are hoping to get right today. That is where I think we need to be. Poll results, 145 votes. Kudos to everybody. I'm very happy to see this. 52-48. Oh, 51, or well, it's rounding weird. 51-48, 1% no decisions. I have no idea. It's a coin flip. That's what the line should be, or at least something pretty close to it. So it's good to see that we have a balanced outcome here. I hope that's the kind of game we get, but we shall see. I want to talk through these value guys, these mid-tier options, and the cheapies. I kind of want to start with the cheapies. We've got, realistically, Isaiah Joe, Kenrich Williams, Aaron Wiggins, and Ben Shepherd. Those are the four guys that are, in this case, for Wiggins' price, $2,200 or below. Everybody else is a bit more expensive. In that pack of four guys, Shepherd is 17%, Wiggins is 14%, Kenrich is 9%, Joe is 2%. Now, as I look at this, it immediately stands out to me that Ben Shepherd is the most owned of all of those guys. I tend to not be as excited for bench players on the road. I'm certainly not excited for someone like Ben Shepherd because he's not good on offense. Ben Shepherd is getting out there because he can defend. 12 minutes last time out. They weren't exactly 12 good minutes. He played 9 and 14 in the two games in OKC. I'm nervous a little bit here, but I think Ben Shepherd is pretty naturally tied to Andrew Nembhard and Nesmith. If we're seeing foul trouble, and for Nesmith, we should almost expect it at the rate that he's been fouling in the playoffs, then we can see a little bit more Ben Shepherd. But if I'm ranking those value guys, I feel most comfortable with the playing time for Kenrich Williams. Is he going to do anything while he's out there? Your mileage may vary. He's going to be a great connector for the team. I don't know how well that's going to help you in DFS. Aaron Wiggins is high ceiling, low floor. Because when he's out there, one of two things is going to happen. He's going to get his shots up, and you're going to hope that they fall. But he's going to get beat on defense. That is going to happen. I mean, he couldn't stop TJ McConnell in game 4. So if Wiggins' defense is not up to snuff, he's going to get ripped off the floor again. If the shots are falling, he's live to drop 15 plus real points, and then you need him. Isaiah Joe is the wild card to me. Lowest owned guy of all of them, $1,400. Has not been involved in this series. 5 minutes and 4 minutes over the last two, 6 and 11 in games 2 and in the opener. They don't seem to want to go to him all that frequently. Whether that's something they want to change up, if I'm ever going to take him, a game back in Oklahoma City makes a lot of sense because what he does can be like the offensive version of TJ McConnell, where if Isaiah Joe comes in and hits a quick three or potentially a second quick three, that could buy him a couple additional minutes, and that will blow the roof off the place. So I think that he is underrepresented at that number, but he is also very live to play 4 minutes, never take a shot, and then never see the floor again. I feel most comfortable with Kenrich. I think Joe is the most interesting wild card. Wiggins, you know what you're getting. I would prefer to not have as much Ben Shepherd. Unfortunately, I have him right now. So that is what we have for the ultra low dudes. But we also have this next tier of Mathurin, Cason Wallace, TJ McConnell, Lou Dort. We could even sort of lump in your Hartenstein, Nembhard, Nesmith group. Mathurin is just the Pacers version of Andrew Wiggins, but will likely play more minutes. You also pay more in salary, $1,800 more expensive. If you think Benedict Mathurin is going to have a bench day in Oklahoma City today, they're going to need it. I tend to think that this is a bad spot for him, but opportunity will be there. Cason Wallace is the tricky one for me. He's 22% owned. It doesn't feel like this series has been going well for him as it's gone on. I feel like he had a lot more momentum earlier in the playoffs than he does right now. And that's also not all that surprising. He's a young dude. Like, we shouldn't expect young guards to be anything other than hopefully passable. But he's played 66 minutes so far. He's 0 of 5 from 3 in this series. He's only taken 9 shots total. But they are only -1 in his 66 minutes. So at the very least, it hasn't been a tire fire overall. And that's not surprising. He's great defensively. There's no holes there. But he needs to provide a little bit more offensively, or else he's not really what you need out there. If you think that today can be a day where he has a little bit more of a get right, can he drop a 3? Because they're going to leave him more than they're going to leave just about anybody else. I can see the path to a better Cason Wallace game now that we're back in Oklahoma City. TJ McConnell. It should come as no surprise that I am not fond of him in this matchup, especially back in Oklahoma City. I had a decent chunk of him for game 4. I was neutral on game 3. They have been dreadful offensively with TJ McConnell on the floor. This is something I touched on the strategy show earlier today, but just so people understand it, TJ McConnell has played 110 possessions in this series. They are scoring 107 points per 100 possessions when he is on the floor. That's not good. That's not good. The offense is not holding up when he's out there. Defensively, he's going to need to steal some inbounds passes. I am right now over the field on TJ McConnell. I do not like that. If I'm taking something in this McConnell, Wallace, Mathurin group, McConnell is the guy I want the least of those 3 guys. And if we want to add in Lou Dort to that group, McConnell is the least I want of those 4 guys. Dort, you know what you're getting. You're hoping for steals, and you're hoping that every moon ball he tosses up goes. What is he shooting from 3 this series? Because it feels like he hasn't missed. Could be wrong. In this series, Lou Dort is 6 of 9 from 3. There's no way that's real. Is that real? He had to have made more than 6. Did he make 6 in one game? I feel like he's got 100 threes made. Oh, I'm not pulling the first game. Silly me. Silly me. Now we got it. Lou Dort, 11 of 18 from 3. I was going to say, I feel like I don't have all of the games pulled in. I keep forgetting that there's that extra day at the beginning. Yeah, 11 of 18 from 3 for Dort. Oddly enough, -2 for the series, but he's not going anywhere. So, this 4K range, to me, I'm ranking it Wallace, Dort, Mathurin, McConnell. I'm going to put this out there to you guys right now. Aaron Nesmith, Andrew Nembhard, separated by $400, both 40% owned. If you've got a lean on it, I agree with your lean. If you don't, grab one of these things. It's a quarter. If you have any other things you could flip, go with it. Flip that coin for those guys. If you've got any sort of feel for picking between those guys, kudos. Do you think Nesmith stays out of foul trouble? He might be a better play. Do you think he continues to foul like he's been doing? Well, then maybe not. Do we have an update to our data? Which I assume we do. And that would be correct. 805 was the ownership update. What I have on the screen right now are the final ownership numbers for today's slate. I'll hop back to FanDuel just so people can see it, but I had this up before. it's not any different. 40% to SGA, 15 for J-Dub, right at 10 for Chet and Halliburton in that MVP spot. If you're looking for value here, I find Dort to be interesting, and I certainly find either Neesmith or Nembhard more interesting, but $3,800 Obi Toppin on FanDuel, 29% owned? That's underrepresented to me. All right, I am going to start up my final sim. One thing I'm interested to see is, and this was another thing that I touched on the strategy show, Oklahoma City found something in the two-man game for SGA and J-Dub down the stretch, with SGA being used as the screener for Jalen Williams, with the goal of SGA to be to get Neesmith on him, which I think he's okay with. It's the reverse Jalen Brunson matchup. How well does that continue? Because that was their saving grace in the final 6 minutes of game 4. And what is Rick Carlisle going to draw up to defend the two-man action between J-Dub and SGA? Because he's had 2 days to go through every two-man game that J-Dub and SGA have run all year. What we need to do is find out how they're going to defend it. I am not about to try to take that guess. I'm not Rick Carlisle. He's smarter than me by 1,000,000,000%. But that is something that's going to happen here. How do you see Siakam fitting into the lineups on FanDuel? 11.6. I mean, the price tag of him being $400 cheaper than J-Dub is pretty interesting. I would argue that the 30% ownership gap from J-Dub to Siakam stands out pretty dramatically and makes me feel like he's a little underowned. All right, I'm about to simulate my lineups. So let's get that moving. And if you guys have questions, please drop them in here. I would love to answer them, because at this point now, and again, if they're questions, if it's a 1v1, head on over to the player compare tool at stokastic.com. I think that will help you out a lot more. We want to talk through strategy for this series. That is what I'm here for, guys. That is what I can help you out. But when it comes to the 1v1s and 2v2s, pretty much any combination of two people that you choose are going to look pretty similar to the opposite side of it. Thoughts on Isaiah Joe? Chris White, I spent a decent chunk of the beginning of the show talking about it. I'm fascinated by him today. Likely to play 4 minutes and probably not take a shot. But if one or two of those threes fall early, I think he can really change the tenor of the crowd. Being at home and being on the road for these games are two distinctly different themes for the players in this series. It is a completely different game for bench players. Doug, why do I want Caruso captain so much? I don't know. That is not a great price tag for him. That is a very, very difficult Caruso price tag. Love him. Think he needs to play a ton. Very scared by that price. Miles Turner to me is the total linchpin for this game and arguably for this series for the Indiana Pacers. If he can't get it together and actually make some shots, this one is over before it gets started. If Miles Turner is knocking down shots, this is going to be a tight game. It just has to be. Now, whether or not that happens, we'll see. Chris Brinkley, no, I do not. Don't even think about it. Let's see what else we got in here. What kind of salary are mine leaving? Probably not a ton for me today. Let me take a look. Most salary that I left, I'm playing limited lineups today because I was stupid and forgot to register. Most I left was 600. If I check what my top 150 would have been, because the process is the same. if I had my 150, I would have left 900 on the table. So either way, not leaving a ton of salary. I am not underweight to Shea at captain. I am 2xing Shea at captain. I think the raw point ceiling for him, especially at home, is really difficult to get away from. Do I like Siakam more than I like Halliburton? I have more Halliburton than I do Siakam, but I continue to not like Halliburton in this series. It's just an absolute grind for him. But as of right now, I do have more of Halliburton. I am finding the money because I have a lot of garbage value guys in Ben Shepherd, TJ McConnell, Kenrich Williams. I'm way over on J-Dub. I've got a giant stand on the best things from Oklahoma City. My biggest fades, Andrew Nembhard, not mad about it. Obi Toppin, slightly nervous about it. Alex Caruso, not mad about it at all. Too expensive for me. Benedict Mathurin, fine. He's either awful or awesome. I don't see a middle ground. And for right now, I am well under the field to Miles Turner. If he beats me, he beats me, but he has not been great lately. Thoughts on Hartenstein? I actually find him very interesting from a DFS perspective. I don't think that he's likely to fall into a ton of minutes here, although I do like the SGA Hartenstein pairing when it's just those two guys out there. But Indiana is just not really having a ton of trouble picking him off in the drop. And while I love the idea of him being out there and changing the rebounding game, that's my path for Hartenstein today. If you're a believer in Oklahoma City, especially in Oklahoma City, then you're hoping that the Pacers are a little tight, they're not getting the best shots, and the shots aren't necessarily falling. And if they're not falling, that benefits no one more than Isaiah Hartenstein because he can own the glass. You get one or two putbacks, hit one or two guys on the short roll, and you can get there pretty quickly for Hartenstein. But I don't think he's going to get a ton of time. I think he's likely to just sit in that 20-minute range, barring any sort of ankle nonsense for Chet or foul trouble for Chet, but not a huge interest. Like I'm neutral to Hartenstein right now. I do want to see with Chet off, Hartenstein and SGA on. 39 minutes -1. They are making every three they barf up, though. I was hoping to see something bigger in the data there. Antoine, I have no idea what that says. With Caruso minutes increasing, 3 non-starters work. Oh, I see what you're saying. Got it. Got it. You chose to skip out on letters in the first and last word. Who do you... All right, chat. I want to hear it right now. I don't want fake answers. I want a real thought process. What is your expectation for the winning lineup captain today? Obviously, Shea makes the most sense. J-Dub is the easiest to do it. But one value dude, or potentially two, your 5K, 6K guys, are going to have an outlier. Who do you think it is? Chet with another big double-double. Williams or Nembhard. Chet. Neesmith or Nembhard. Chet. J-Dub. Siakam. Obi. Caruso. J-Dub. Caruso. Caruso. Siakam. Neesmith. Caruso. Okay. We're spreading it out. We're spreading it out. Friend of the program, Rinpack in here. How do you think OKC can scheme for more three-point attempts? Obviously, outside the obvious, forcing a bunch of turnovers. I don't think they can. I mean, surely there are small tweaks. I just don't think it's in the cards for them. They certainly need to. I think need to is strong because I'm sure they'd like to. The Pacers deserve a lot of credit for not making it easy. Yeah, the shot balance is off. They are disproportionate 2s to 3s in a way that I don't think is helpful. If they could tilt that a little bit, I think it would be incredibly valuable to them. I mean, one answer that I have, Rinpack, really is, can you get Isaiah Joe out there a little bit more? I mean, we saw Isaiah Joe, I want to say that it was game 3, but I can't remember now. Not that it matters. He came in and hit 2 threes in like 3 minutes, and then they just put him on ice. Like, it hasn't been that big of a problem. You're hoping that he can get out there in situations where he's not going to get like truly picked on defensively. If you can get Joe out there when Halliburton's not on the floor, I'm willing to take that shot as much as possible. But if you want to get more threes up, I think the easiest way to do it is to put your best 3-point shooter out there to do it and see if you could live with the defense for a bit. Especially at home, I would want to get Isaiah Joe out there and at least getting a couple up early, because when they fall, I don't think it scales in a linear way. He makes one. If he makes the second one, it's much more impactful to the crowd and the people around him, your teammates, whatever. That kind of stuff is infectious in days like this. So if they want to get more threes up, my recommendation is play Isaiah Joe 8 minutes instead of 4. But that might not necessarily be what they're going to do. I am so pumped to watch this game. I'm going to drop the link in here again, just in case anybody is new here. Playback.tv/Stokastic. We all watched the game together. If you could link your account, you could watch it very easily. I have 20 VIP passes that I could hand out so that you guys could watch along with us. Worst case scenario, you hear me giving the old play-by-play on the game. Ooh, it'd be really cool on playback if you were somebody that can't see the screen, if you could at least see a live box score. Playback, I'll reach out. What else you guys got here for me? Oh, here's one question, because we asked the first question of who covers. Here's the real question for you guys. Are we getting a game 7? Are we going to be here Sunday night for all the marbles? Or is this one over on Thursday one way or the other? Ashley, it does? That's exciting. I'll have to incognito tab it. Normally incognito tabs are reserved for something else, but we could try playback. Interesting balance here. Stephen Foster, here's the final. OKC 130-93. Stephen, I highly recommend you put $1 or $2 down on Thunder by 30 plus. You could probably get a decent line here. We have 90 seconds to go until this bad boy is over and we are heading to playback, but we are already there. 60 of you are all 61, are already on playback checking out the bets we have available, like Courtney Williams under 5.5 assists, Shohei Ohtani under 0.5 hits at plus 200. Welcome back to the hill, I guess, today too. Bunch of other lines in there right now. We have a minute to go. I am so pumped to watch this bad boy. I have nothing else to say. I told you guys my exposures. I think we've worked through everything we could possibly talk about. I think at this point, all we can do now is watch the game. Hopefully we get a quick start. We're getting intros today. I don't know if you guys saw that. We're going to get to watch the starters get introduced. I guess that's good. I'd rather the game just start, but we'll take what we can get. My final opinion for this game, it's going to lean a lot like it has been for just about every other game. Got it right in game 4. Certainly didn't get it right in game 3. Oklahoma City covers today. Double-digit dub. And I'm probably not here for the fourth quarter, but I don't mind watching more of this basketball because this is as good a basketball as I've ever seen in my life, and I really just don't want to stop watching it. Also, for those of you that didn't watch the strategy show, shout out to Desmond Bane being the new shooting guard for the Orlando Magic. But we'll worry about that next year. Now it's time for game 5. Oklahoma City, Indiana. We are locked. Now let's go to Playback. Playback.tv/Stokastic. I'll see you guys there. Good luck, everybody.